entertaining, it's not rude, but instead of that, we've got Tim and Ross.
Come on, Tim.
Thank you. The official time for that was 6 minutes 20. 6 minutes 20, please.
Bingo!
Okay. So I'm Ross, for anyone that didn't know, I'm one of the co-best men.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm one of the other co-best men, as Chris said earlier. We're Chris's younger brothers.
Before we start on Chris, we'd quickly like to thank our mum and dad for raising the four of us. It kind of been easy raising us all, and I'm sure there were more than a few problems along the way. Thankfully, those problems mostly happened to the first child, which goes some of the way to explaining Chris.
They say as you're growing up, you're meant to look up to your oldest brother, following his advice and learning from his mistakes. Well, perhaps maybe we struggled to follow Chris's advice. There were certainly lots of mistakes to learn from. However, we have a few examples that show that he wasn't only a great brother, but he'll be a great husband too.
So, a relationship's built on trust, and Chris has certainly showed in the past that he can be trusted. So, at the tender age of just 17, Chris attended a school party, and Chris didn't have his own suit to go to the party, so thankfully he was able to borrow one from my dad. Now, he was given very clear instructions with the suit. He had to be very careful with the suit. So, after the party, my dad went along to pick him up, and Chris was nowhere to be found. So, my dad asked around a few of his friends and was pointed towards the direction of a nearby bush, where Chris was doing what all people who are young and 17 have had a little bit too much to drink tend to be doing. Now, when my dad went over, rather than explain his predicament and try and make up excuses, Chris's first thoughts were to say, "Don't worry, the suit's fine."
The next thing we learn from Chris is that it's always important to be careful with delicate things like china, glasses, and also younger brothers. Once, when Chris was young, him and a friend decided to take a baby me on a trip up the stairs. Being the responsible child he was, Chris had the perfect way to take me up the stairs. One of them grabbed my arms, one of them grabbed my legs, and they carried me up the stairs, swinging me backwards and forwards. Mum found me at the top of the stairs, giggling away. So, clearly I loved it, but we never quite knew what Chris was planning on doing once he got me to the top of the stairs. But I did get to the top of the stairs undamaged, showing he is a careful individual.
They say that resourcefulness is also an important skill, which Chris has demonstrated in the past. A few years ago, Chris was himself asked to be the best man for two different people a couple of weeks apart. Now, of course, this means writing two best man speeches. And as me and Tim found, it's not easy writing a best man speech, and writing two just a couple of weeks apart, very challenging. Chris had a way around this. He just used the same speech. Change around. Just change around some of the stories, it's fine, no one will notice. Naturally, when I asked Chris to be my best man a year and a half ago, we all know where this is going. Third time's a charm. Naturally, as a tribute to Chris, we have followed pretty much the same format on this account.
Determination to stick to your task in the face of difficult circumstances is also another important quality in a husband. Chris showed this one many years ago when we were on a holiday. When we were younger, we decided to go sailing. Chris went out first, and whilst he was out, it was time for him to come out. We had another boat that came in, changed over, went out, and they sailed over to see him and say, "Chris, time to come in." A very red-faced Chris, lots of angry arms, and said, "I know it's time to come in. I've been trying to come in for the last half an hour." Now, underneath the boat, there is a board that sticks vertically down into the water, or rather, there should have been. What happened is Chris had instead of putting this in the water, lifted it into the boat. He did slowly get closer to the shore, and people at the shore were shouting, "Chris, put the board down," because we could work out what was going wrong. More angry shouting, "It is down, it is down!" More red-faced. Get my words right, from Chris. But time went on, and he failed to get in. Our time ran out, and a powerboat was sent to go. It dragged him back in, more red-faced than he was before. It only got even redder when it was pointed out that the board was up, and in fact he'd just been wrong the whole time. But, ever the determined individual, he did say that he would have done it if he'd have enough time.
Now, with Chris, you know you have someone that it can be relied upon to stick through you for the good times and the bad, and nowhere is this more evident than Chris's continued loyalty to his and our football team, or should I say soccer team, Crystal Palace.
Hey.
Now, we share 2 season tickets amongst the 4 of us, and Chris never misses a game when it's his turn. He does, however, miss the first 5 minutes on a pretty regular basis. This demonstrates with Chris that you always know that he will give you his support, just in his own time.
With all these qualities and more, I'm sure Chris will make an excellent husband.
So lastly, I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome Emily into the Palmer family. You're stuck with us now, so I'll let you decide if that's a good thing or not. So finally, would you please all raise your glasses to the bride and groom.
Bride and groom. Okay,